Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Knock and Talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Angie.
And I'm Professor D. And for today's episode, we're going to be addressing a topic that is relevant to all of us cooped up at home thanks to this pandemic, and that is something very important to all of us, and that is staying mentally and physically fit. So the obvious implication when talking about no, let me start off with something more Let me start off with the more simpler uh, subsection, and that is physical fitness. So the obvious implication that we are faced when talking about physical fitness and being cooped up at home is calisthenics, because not all of us have um, have home gyms. It could be a question. It could be an issue of money, space, or just not enough effort. So calisthenics is going to be our big focus. So what are your starting thoughts on calisthenics? Do you do it a lot?
Okay, so first, I agree with that. A home gym would really help, but at the same time, calisthenics, you can get a lot done with calisthenics. I think you said this last episode, or you said it to me, or whatever. Um, but yeah, I think calisthenics are really good.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, plus it's free. You
yeah, no,
don't
that's
have to
true.
worry about any of the costs.
And you could be innovative with it. Like you say, there are many different ways to do a singular exercise, and you could, pick up heavy things you have in
Yeah,
your house.
and well, yeah, of course you could, if you don't have a home gym, you can just kind of look around because we do have stuff in our in our houses. There something it all has mass, it all weighs something, so something could really be like a good substitute for a dumbbell or something. But for those but the main focus is still on calisthenics. And the way I see calisthenics, it can be, it can be like kind of broken up into uh, two divisions. It can be focused on upper body and lower body. I mean, that's pretty logical. That sounds pretty logical to me. And for upper body, I think push-ups is like the big thing. That's like the the first thing, and I'm sure that's what the first thing everyone thinks of. And the thing is with push-ups, I would call it overrated. Uh, but and I'm pretty critical usually, but it really deserves its label because there are so many variations to the push-up that you can really hit a lot of different muscle groups. And concerning lower body, you I can say same thing about stuff like squats. So many variations to it, and so you could really target a lot of different groups. But what's your do you have like a specific routine or something, or have you been focused on something lately regarding calisthenics?
That's a good question. But first, about the push-ups,
Okay.
you actually can involve the lower body as well. If like, because you're basically in a plank form, so you can
Hmm.
if you clench your abs and all your lower muscles like your glutes and quads and stuff, you can make it like an isometric while you do um the concentric and eccentric for the chest and arms. So it is
Mm.
pretty versatile as well as you say. So you can include the lower body that way. But yeah, no, I,
Well,
I agree with all the
I'm not
variations and stuff.
I'm not too versed in the into activating the lower body and push-ups, but I'd like to impart my wisdom upon the viewers with my methods, with my usual go-tos with push-ups. Um, Obviously, the classics, the classic, the proper stance, what they call proper. That would obviously target your triceps and chest and a little bit of the abs because, after all, as you said before, it is a plank position. But another thing I like to do is I like to stay keep my feet and hands in the same place, but shift my body forward. So
Oh,
so it'd actually be more stress on my more weight for my arms and chest, right? So instead of repping like I think the number is 65% of my body weight, I would be repping probably a little more, either 75 or maybe even 85. Depends on how much I shift the body. Um, Another thing I like to do, um, obviously decline push-ups, because that can also work your shoulders a bit more than the classic, which obviously, as I was saying before, it's all about targeting different muscle groups. It's all about variations. Um, Also, even changing the placement of your hands. Uh, I like doing the with the fists
Oh
because
yeah, yeah.
as opposed to just doing flat, keeping your hands flat on the ground, right? When you do the fist, you actually have a longer range of motion because your body's a bit higher up now. And like I know you could argue that it's not that big of a deal. It's only a few inches, but now stretch it out over a whole entire routine over a week. I mean, you're going to be having a lot higher time under tension, which is big and which is big in taxing the muscles. But
Right. Um.
what about you? What do you like to do in push-ups? Or are you just kind of like a classic push-up
No, no.
thing?
I like all those things you said. I've tried to do some of the where you like lean your body forward.
Hmm.
Those, yeah,
Yeah, I love that stuff.
that's pretty interesting. With the fist, I haven't done as much. I will try that, but what I like to do is also like, um, I don't know if it's incline or decline, but like it does like you put your feet up on like a chair and your hands on the ground.
Yeah, that's decline.
Okay, you're right. So you activate the upper part of the chest. So I like doing
Yeah.
that. But no, yeah, I do go whenever I do it. I do go with the standard push up too.
Hmm.
But
Also, a little side note, if you want to do those fist push-ups I was talking about, where you kind of you kind of clench your fist and use that as the to like go into the ground. Um, Obviously the surface that you're doing it on does matter because on a hard surface, it's gonna might hurt your knuckles a bit. Um, but like if you have a carpet, it's a lot easier. So don't go to the viewers, don't go, hurting anything. Gotta just you do reasonable exercises. If something hurts too much, try to try to get into a new arrangement that doesn't hurt as much because you don't want to be going to the hospital for something. Um, you still have to maintain some kind of standard of safety. Um, and I mean, it's not as important for calisthenics, but for those folks who have home gyms, and I say that in quotations because uh, it's kind of like a whatever they just found around the house. Um, don't be stupid. That's like the first priority because I've seen some pictures that are just you kind of look at and you just laugh at because like it's a disaster. Like it just spells out disaster waiting to happen. You know.
oh yeah, um, the
Sorry, I went on a monologue again.
no, 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 you did it. But anyway, um, no, definitely. If you have like the professional equipment, like like the racks and stuff, then you need to be like especially careful as well, because you don't want to be under the bar with nobody to spot you because you're at home.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, most people right now, they're with people, they have their friends or family cooped up in home. Get a spotter. It's not a big deal. Like, you don't have to be Mr. Tough Guy. Think, oh, I can do it by myself.
Well,
But yeah,
anyway, so wait, do you do these calisthenics every day? What's your kind of routine? How's it go?
um, okay. Morning, I'm a bit lazy. I'm not a morning person. So, but it's usually for me, most workouts are in the evening. That's when I do like most of my stuff, and I go pretty hard. I don't even like take any creatine. I just put on some like music to hype me up, and just start going at it. Get a nice pump going. I don't know. It's very low pressure because I know I don't have to rush anywhere the next day. No commuting, no nothing. So sometimes I do it like really really late. That's that. I don't know. For me, that's just the most comfortable time. Um, But I know that for other people, morning is the best time. They get up, they gotta get everything flowing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I wanted to discuss a bit of the squats because obviously lower body is important too. Um, so, but hold on. Disclaimer: do your stretches. First things
I
first. I
don't do
forgot
any
to
stretches.
mention. Shame on you.
Okay.
Do your stretches. You gotta, if you want to feel young, do your stretches.
Are
You'll
they
thank your older self later.
are they really that good?
Yeah, I'd say so. When I do my stretches, I feel like 20 years younger.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe that's just my confirmation bias, but um, it just feels invigorating.
Okay, got
Vegas.
you. Cuz
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't gotten hurt without doing the stretches, so I just felt like they weren't
Well,
important. I never did them.
that's while you're young. You're gonna, as I said before, you're gonna thank yourself when you're older, when when you maintain a good schedule of stretching.
Okay,
Um,
got you.
and it is important. I mean, if you ever been in any sports teams, coaches stress it big time with anything. Before engaging in physical activity, even in just in gym classes. We always do some kind of warm ups or stretches beforehand to avoid any kind of like any kind of to less likely to get injured. Um, but one big thing regarding lower body that I'm a big proponent of um, is for those folks who already pretty have a pretty good lower body uh, in regards to like like muscles. Like if they already can squat a good amount, they can always go on one leg and double the weight they're repping. Or I mean, same thing goes for this the calf raises thing. Like when they just kind of go on their tiptoes on one foot.
Yeah, right. I used to do that.
Yeah, so that helps. Yeah, I think the one you do on the one leg is called like a pistol squat, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and if you can't do a pistol squat just like that, you can just use a chair. I mean, that's good too because I think that's called a safety squat when you look at when it's like a sit down type of squat.
Oh, okay. You could
If
do
you get
the
up and you get down.
yeah, you could do the
Yeah,
Bulgarian
so
split squat too.
yeah, so if you can't do a pistol squat quite yet, you could do on a chair, especially if it has handles on the side. That's very helpful. And you could just try getting up and sitting down a bunch of times on one leg, preferably slowly. Not like a jumpy type action, but like a slow, steady type of motion. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be limited to the chair. I mean, you can look around, see something that works, make sure it's sturdy. Um, you can also do tricep dips. Like especially I've seen the popular place to do tricep dips is like on a kitchen counter, where the sides intersect. So you can just kind of do dips there. That's another thing I saw. I know that's not lower body, but just another thought popped into my head. But there's these kind of times warrants a time of just like being resourceful, being looking around your surroundings to see what can you make the best, like making the best out of your environment. Um, and of course, it's not ideal, but that's just how we have to be now. Um,
Right. So do you work out every day?
not every day, because I'm not Mr. Perfect, of course. Sometimes I do lazy out. I'm like, tomorrow, and I do it tomorrow, but some days I do skip out.
Yeah, I was doing good I think last week. Like I would work out every other day. Um
Mhm.
but this week I don't know. I don't know if I've been slacking. I've just been so busy with other things. Like it's important to keep busy, but I just have so many projects and I don't know. I just, but today
Yeah,
I'm going to try to get back on it today after this. So,
that's good. That's good. Yeah, being persistent is one of the essential qualities
yeah.
for success in almost anything, let alone working out. Um, but we can talk about another area that is vital to be successful in, and that is maintaining mental health, being mentally fit. So, I don't think this can be much of a problem for students, although I think it could be a problem for students because, yes, school might stimulate some thought, but overall, my take on school is that it usually, I don't know, it doesn't provide quite the platform for too much expression. Um, it's not like such an outlet for creativity or critical thinking. Um, ironically. So I think that in these kind of times, it's really good to get involved in stuff that we usually associate with old people doing, and that is doing like little puzzles, little like stuff like Sudoku or maybe some kind of not crosswords, but those kind of games in a newspaper they put a lot, right? You know what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, aren't they crosswords?
You call them crosswords?
Yeah, of course.
Crosswords is when you look for the word in like that matrix pattern, right? Because if it is, I don't mean that. I don't mean like when they give you like a clue, like a few words telling you what it's about, and then you're supposed to like find and then write down the word
Right.
in
Yeah.
that
No,
pattern.
that's crossword. There's another name for the other one, but I forgot it too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so stuff like crosswords, um, play like Minesweeper, just something to get the brain working. Um, because I think that in the home setting we're very prone to being lazy because in our normal lives, what the home setting is an escape from our busy lives. So
I like that.
really, what the home is for us is just an area of just zoning out, watching TV or just lying down or just napping. It's not meant to be a challenging setting. So um, bringing in these. So obviously, when we enter these abnormal times, we need to realize that we do need to give ourselves little challenges to keep our mental fitness up. So and it's not a big deal really. I mean, it's stuff like puzzles and games or kind of strategy games. It's just important to expose ourselves to some level of thought, uh, because our brain is very much like the rest of our body. Obviously, it's not a muscle, right? But it is a bunch of nerve cells, right? And we do need to work out all those connections. We need engaging in critical thought, stuff like that. So, what are you doing, for example, to keep up your mental fitness?
Well, I agree with what you said, but you don't need like I feel like you don't need a game or challenge or puzzle or whatever to maintain that level of thought. Um, it's a good point you make, but you can also, like we said last episode, you could just be reading stuff like that, keeping busy with like a project or I don't know something you're working on, whatever. Um, but yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
think
Yeah, go on.
okay. What I'm thinking of is like something like yard work. Yard work works a lot of different stuff. That's why something like a farmer build. It's usually like strength in a lot of different areas.
Right.
So I think it applies in the same way to mental fitness, in that not only yes we have to upkeep on our social abilities, continue talking to people and practice our rhetorical skills, but uh, we also have to engage in activities that kind of work our logical skills. So something like just like puzzles, right? Puzzles or strategy games. So that's my thought process there. Or we're keeping busy doing like repetitive stuff, right? Kind of also surprisingly, I'm sure it fits in there. Um, you see what I'm talking about there?
Yeah,
See
yeah. Definitely, but you can. Feel like you can get the desired effect. Like let's say you're reading something, right?
mhm.
Just thinking about it and processing yourself. Processing it yourself will. It's
Well,
not like you have to
hold on.
figure out a puzzle, but it's like you digest what you have, like
A
just
book
taken
is
in.
a very a book, saying merely a book is a very wide range of implications. What
Oh,
kind of
that's
books
true.
are we talking about?
Well, it's whatever keeps somebody's interest, because you want the person to be thinking or whatever.
No, no,
So
no. I specify. I meant like genres. I meant
whatever keeps the person's interest.
that's the thing. Like I feel like we need to go out of our comfort zones. That okay, maybe
Well,
someone
not
who's
into
more
things you
focused.
don't like though.
No, I mean like not reading some kind of book that they don't like, but someone who really just like really keen on just absorbing literature. Maybe they should try. I don't know. Maybe like a they should also engage in something that's more logical than just of a creative expression, more artistic
Oh yeah, yeah,
such
like
as literature.
okay, gotcha.
Because um, we can't just limit ourselves to a certain number of areas of thought because I think we're all eclectic mix of those. So I think we have to exercise every little piece, if you will.
Okay, that's interesting. Um, so I don't know. What are you reading right now?
I'm reading a lot of stuff. Um, I'm very, I have to admit, I'm very unorganized with my reading patterns. Um, I mean, I started a while ago. Salt, sugar, and fat. I'm almost done with that. It's kind of it's like a mix of biology and economics, talking about how food corporations completely took over America and you know really exacerbated this whole entire obesity issue. Um, which, by the way, I'm hoping to make a post on Friendly Bookshelf about that soon.
Follow for the
Um,
bookshelf.
yeah, follow Friendly Bookshelf. It's been I've got to admit I'm kind of been lazying out lately, so my bad.
It's okay. We're
But
all waiting
aside
for the
from
word
that,
of the week.
oh, right, that too. Thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome.
But in the background, I'm also reading other books. I'm reading Leviathan by Hobbes,
Of
which
course, yes.
I'm also getting close to done, but
Oh, good.
I'm reading so sparsely. Is that even a word? I don't know.
Yes.
Um, excellent. But sometimes I just go weeks without reading it because like I don't know, just no desire to. Just out of nowhere, just to spur, just to read it for a bit. So I've got to say I'm pretty unorganized. Oh, and then I'm reading Capital, Volume One by Karl Marx, which is also going very slowly because one, it's a huge book, and if I really want to understand something like that, I always have to have a page of notes. I always have to have pages of notes. Like the way it usually works for me, for each page, I usually have a page of notes. Like
Well,
by the time I finish reading the page, I have like a page of notes either because I'm quoting something or I'm reflecting on some kind of quote. So with me, it's a very lengthy process.
wait. So
Very
do you keep all these notes?
yeah, I kind of have them in scattered areas. Sometimes I just kind of write them down in a book and then I lose the book somewhere. I'm like,
Oh
that
yeah.
kind of sucks. Other times I just kind of whatever room I have left in some kind of used notebook, I just fill it in there. So it's very as as I am, it is where the notes are is very unorganized, and um, it's kind of a mess looking around for it. So when I want to go back and just kind of reflect on some stuff that I read before, um, but aside from that, um, I also have a field guide, which isn't something to read. It's more just like a reference type thing. So anytime I go for a walk, uh, or maybe I see something online that doesn't quite show the name, I like to go to my field guide and just see what's that plant there. Let me see here, and then I find it, read up on it. So, oh, and then I'm planning on reading starting a book on formal logic, which is something I've always been kind of interested in. Because I like to relate a lot of stuff to. basic logic, since I feel like that's kind of my field. I don't know. I'm not that I'm not that I guess intelligent with emotions. I'm more of a I like to apply logic to everything. I guess.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I'm the same way. A logic book would definitely be nice.
Yeah.
Because I only took one logic class, but because I'd like to be well versed in like I know the stuff, but I don't know the names of a lot of things. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like
Plus,
like
I don't want to. I don't want to see like if teaching formal logic, not teaching, like learning formal logic would actually help you in your personal life.
right.
I wonder how it translates. You know,
Yeah,
because
definitely let me know. Let me know how that book is.
yeah, and plus it is in a different language, which I am. So it's gonna be a bit harder since I'm obviously better in English.
It's in Russian.
Yeah,
Oh
so
fuck.
I'm going to be enhancing two abilities at the same time here.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
How's the Duolingo?
being efficient. Duolingo,
Doing some Russian, doing some
also
Latin.
unorganized. Also unorganized. Yeah, I'm enhancing three abilities there. French. By the way, bonjour, salut, whatever you
Yeah,
want.
yeah.
Uh,
Comme ça va?
bien. One, two. No, that's
That's right. That's right.
well, it's no wait. Well, very, very. How do you say very?
Trey.
Trey. Yeah, yeah. Trey bien. Very well.
Yeah, Trey bien, merci.
Um, wait, what else do I know? Merci beaucoup.
Hmm.
Thank you very much. I don't know. I think it just the French language sounds pretty cool. So
Yeah, it sounds
I
pretty
want to
cool. I
learn
know a
that.
lot of words, but I don't know how to fucking say shit. Like I get the pronunciation wrong all the time.
Yeah,
That's the hardest part.
it's yeah, it's a tough language. I'm always looking at the slow version when they ask you to like type in something
Oh yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
say something.
Definitely.
So
Oh, you got a little doggy there?
yeah, got a doggy in the house.
What's his
This
name
is
again?
all his name is Vosco.
Oh right, right.
Yeah, he's a Belgian Malinois or a Belgian Shepherd. It's like a smaller version of a well, not a small like it's like a different version of it. It's a bit different from the German Shepherd. Actually, a lot of people mistake it for the German Shepherd.
So you say you go on
Uh,
walks all the time. Do you take this dog all the time, or no?
not all the time. Plus, I mean, I don't go out too far. You know, because you still got to, you know, obviously, I don't want to be safe. You know, want to stay close to home.
Right.
Um,
And so, do you actually? I know you said you let the cat out over there. Do you let the dog out by himself as well?
oh no, no, there's a lot of, I mean, there's still like, okay, not a lot of people, but there are people walking around too. You know, obviously social, like, you know, we're not too close to each other, but you know, the doggies, obviously dogs are a lot more, they can be a lot more friendlier than a cat, which is, you know, a bit more solitary, but more of a solitary animal. So obviously, I don't want to avoid confrontations of any sort because, you know, what if the dog smells some kind of other dog on the person and, you know, he gets all angry. So obviously, want to be safe. Always keep them on a leash. Um, but but we kind of went to a tangent. Going back to Duolingo, yeah, I'm taking Latin, French, and Russian. Um, you know, I just Russian because I just thought, why not see kind of maybe brush up on some stuff that I didn't maybe like little details that I didn't know or was mistaken with. So I mean, because I already have so much free time, so why not? Um, but Latin, um, honestly, not too hard. A little tricky with the grammar, but other than that, not much of an issue. Um, but I do have to admit I am not a good Duolingo student because I get lazy very easily and I get it's hard finding motivation. Maybe because
Yeah.
I'm not too much of a language person. Um, I'd say my key interests that are like stuff that you see like, whoa, what's that? What's that? What's that? It's usually something with ecology or botany or economics. Um, and at some surprisingly, at some points, those topics do intersect. So, which really gets me interested. Um, but aside from that, it's all like in a descending order from then on.
Yeah, I feel the same way, but an important part, like you said, is the consistency. So you need like
Yeah,
with things like this, I feel like it's really good how they give you like a streak if you go every day. Because even if you do just
yeah,
like
yeah.
one
They
lesson
do
every
like
day,
they do point systems, which
right?
I think does actually enhance some motivation. Because if it was just like if you just came onto the app and you weren't and there was no kind of there was no metric to measure how you were doing, um, I think it would be a bit less pressure on you, and I think removing that pressure would kind of remove some of that motivation, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe some people work less with would do better on Duolingo with less pressure or like with less of a measure of how they were doing. I don't know.
Yeah, I like it.
But I think you're a lot more involved in it than I am. So,
But well, yeah, that's true. But also, I'm only doing one language,
oh, right.
so I can like
Uh,
focus. But but anyway, we should definitely practice together as well with Alex.
oh, Alex is also doing Duolingo.
Of course, I told you he's the one who got me into this. He
Wait,
told me
what
he told me
what
to do it with him.
what languages? Oh, is he doing French too?
Of course.
Oh, okay. So maybe if we all stay motivated and are consistent, we can be a little trio talking French to each other. That would
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
cool.
Yeah, because we could do it over Discord like right now. Because tonight, because I spoke to Alex yesterday, and I was telling him like, well, long story short, we were talking, and I was like, maybe we should practice because we're not going to class anymore. We don't really practice with the speaking, so
Hmm.
maybe we should practice over Discord, like every day. And he's like, yeah, okay, so we're gonna start that today, and you can be included, a little bit later once you learn more,
Yeah, yeah,
or whatever.
that
You
would be
could do it
pretty
tomorrow. I
cool.
don't know.
No, I mean, I think your French abilities are better than mine for now. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll get motivated for some reason all of a sudden, but
And especially if we
so
work together, we'll like build off each other. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I see that.
Anyway, yeah, guys, learn a language. Go on Duolingo right now. Go start reading a book. Start reading some Karl Marx.
I don't know. That's more optional. That's more specific. But
Right,
side note,
but
um,
Leviathan is a necessary read.
yeah, very necessary. So you can see how stupid monarchism is. But
Okay.
anyways, um, but side note, I just wanted to kind of reflect on